Hello, James Craddock here again. Welcome to the introduction of the 7 arenas of the human experience. This, again, is the backdrop. The 7 arenas of the human experience is a backdrop to the Eigestalt creative thinking strategy. It wouldn't have worked. I laid out the entire Eigestalt creative thinking strategy, and I kept getting back to some fundamentals that I understood, but I wasn't, bringing forth and explaining as I laid out the strategy. And I realized that the more I talked about the strategy, the more I lost somebody listening if I didn't back up and explain some other concepts. Well, that led me to realize that I had to take a very large body of information and somehow distill it down into a model and then present it in such a way that you could digest it and understand it, and in such a way that it would support the strategy itself. With that, I approached it with the Eigestalt creative thinking strategy, and I utilized our strategy to come up with a way to do that. I pretty much use this strategy to come up with every model and every way of doing everything that I do. And what happened was, suddenly, the 7 arenas started taking shape, and I started penciling and researching and studying and reading, and as I did, it grew and it grew and it got bigger and more robust and more defined. Till I had enough. By the way, that happened in about 3 days' time. A couple of hours of meditating upon the idea. The initial idea happened instantaneously. It flowed like a river, just like any big idea flows. It flowed in accordance to the Eigestalt creative thinking strategy because I put myself in the mindset and in the place necessary to get these ideas to come to me. And when they started flowing and I started getting them down, I get all giddy and excited. This is what I love most about creative thinking, because suddenly materializing right in front of your eyes is the future. Materializing right in front of your eyes is thought and concept, and when they mutate into a model or into a product or something that you can manifest and share with others, it becomes overwhelming. And there the 7 arenas lay in front of me, and I started applying different concepts, and I ended up with the colors of the rainbow being applicable to the model. And actually, initially, I had the model inside out. I started from the inside and worked to the outside. The inside, the center, was the physical arena, and the outside was the eternal arena. The problem with that was the colors didn't match up with the with each arena as well as I would have anticipated that they were going to match up. And there were some other, as I started better understanding how the 7 arenas work and the reality of them, they started conflicting with themselves. So I took a step back and I applied some basic creative thinking techniques, and I flipped the thing around, and the moment I did that, I suddenly had the clarity that I was looking for, that I needed. And the model really started coming together at that point. So this is just an introduction. You're going to watch the screencast, and I'm going to open up your mind to what these 7 arenas are and why you need to understand them. They exist in every single one of us, and as I open up your mind to them, I'm building quickly. What I tell you in the upcoming videos that you're going to download and watch, and the things that you'll read, and you'll hear about these 7 arenas in many different venues and channels, because I plan to promote them quite heavily. But what you're going to find out is we're just touching the surface. We're just scratching the surface. You could take each one of these arenas and explode it into an entire doctorate's degree of information. And there, in many cases, such as the physical arena, it's pretty much already been that's pretty much already been done with the natural sciences and things of this nature. So the body of information that could be contained is unlimited. What I'm trying to do with the 7 arenas is to give you the basis of a framework. I'm really trying to verbally and graphically explain the model so that the model can just simply become a backdrop and a way for you to wash different things. But as a result of creating this model, I discovered new depths and new altitudes, new platitudes of thought, of interaction, of relation. I've found ways to manage my own spirit, my own emotions. I have consecrated many of my own beliefs. I have discovered why certain things happen certain ways in my own mind. Then I've listened to other doctors and other psychologists and other preachers and other ministers and different people that spiritual teachers that come at us with different types of solutions for life, and I've recognized that my model lends credence to all of their explanations, and that this model of the 7 arenas of the human experience can really, again, do the exact same thing that the I-Gestalt strategy does for creative thinking. It can say, that is the path, that is the outcome, but my model says this is what's really this is what's going on. This is how what you're saying is actually working and why it's working. And once we can do that, then we can turn it around and say, oh, then if we want to manipulate our lives a certain way, if we want to manifest ourselves in a certain light, in a certain stature, we can take what we learn from this model and extrapolate a very specific path that will take us to that end, because we understand what's truly going on. When we look at what we're trying to understand, we come to the point where we realize this is what's happening inside of us. Now, because we understand that, we can take all the different paths and all the different expected outcomes and put them together. This missing piece drives us to a much more controllable interaction with everything that we do. So the 7 arenas of human experience, even in and of itself, has become a paradigm that I think a lot of new psychology, a lot of explained theology, a lot of applied physiology can all marry to that, support it, and also utilize it to go even further than we have where we are today. But it is also a major component then of the I-Gestalt creative thinking strategy, and a necessary component for you to be able to digest and fully utilize the strategy. So, by way of introduction, the 7 arenas of human experience it's a lesson unto itself, and I look forward to breaking it all down for you. We're going to have you go through the introduction and then watch each video at the beginning of each section, and then go through each of the trainings and each of the screencast videos, or listen to it as an MP3. Definitely you'll want to go back and see the video, because there's a lot contained in there. I apologize for the density of some of the initial slides. Some of the initial slides are intended not for your viewing pleasure as much as they're intended as reference material, handouts, printouts, etc. And we, of course, will make the actual program, the actual PowerPoint presentation is available there for download as well, in case you want to teach this yourself once you've gone through it. So I am not following at all the proper dynamics for PowerPoint presentation, because I'm not trying to do a presentation so much as I'm trying to teach a course that has reference material. And the magnitude and the volume of information that's in this course makes that a little tough. Hopefully in the future I will be able to maybe do a shorter version or a more dynamic type of version that is more entertaining and has less reference material. So there is some density in the initial slides, but it's primarily for reference. So if you listen to it as an MP3, which is why we put it up that way, you're still going to get a good deal of it. As we progress through the program, the slides become much more robust. We bring in a whole lot more external information and references and videos and things to support our points, and it makes the process a little more entertaining. But that being said, you'll find I throw caveats out all the time. I want to do the best I can with what I have at the moment that I'm trying to do it here, and the result can sometimes be less than what I want it to be. But I got to get this information rolled out so we can get to the next point, to the next step and the next level of presenting all this. So with that being said, this is the 7 arenas of human experience. I think it'll open up your mind and give you a whole new, give you a strong perspective on some things, and package it in such a way that you can relate to it on a regular basis. I look forward to teaching it, and let's just get on with the next step. Go ahead and watch the video of the actual introduction, and I'll see you in the physical arena.